One of the things on my checklist for covering, getting the airplane ready to cover, the fuselage ready for cover, is putting in my tie-down rings, cargo tie-down stuff in the back. And in the aft baggage compartment, both the lower and the upper one, I've got cargo tie-downs put in. I haven't done it in the forward baggage compartment yet. So I've got these removable tie-down rings that I was going to put in, and what I've done, I've cut some doubler plates to go on the bottom side of the plywood, and these are almost ½ inch bigger size than the cargo hold downs themselves and the rings here. And so I'm going to put 2 of those in the forward part of the aft baggage compartment, 2 of them in the forward part of the forward baggage compartment, and then 2 of them just in front of the rear seat on the floor there. So I have plenty of anchor points for tying down. And these little doublers are they're 32 thousandths 2024 T3 aluminum. So with that sandwiched in the plywood, that'll be a pretty good breakout strength on theirs. These will be held in with number 10 screws, so I'm drilling these out for number 10 nut plates right now. I stacked all these up and clamped them down to a board and marked my holes for the screws in the stack, and then I drilled all the way through the stack. Now I have to drill them out individually, but I'll take each one of them and drill them out for a nut plate using my nut plate jig. I made my pilot hole with a number 27 drill bit. After I get the holes all set up here for the nut plates, yeah, they're number 40 drill bits for the rivets for the nut plate, then I can go ahead and drill all these holes out, clearance holes for number 10 screw, and put the nut plates on each one of these. These pretty nice little setups. These just go in and clip in there like that, and then lock in. And then you can take them out and get them out of the way, so they don't take up. They're not too obtrusive in the baggage compartment when you're not using them. Well, I've got all these backing plates drilled, so I drilled the holes out for a number with a number 27 drill bit for a number 6 screw, and then I drilled out the rivet holes with a number 40 drill bit, and then I took a countersink and I countersunk one side of these plates for a rivet, a flathead rivet, and I drilled out these holes with these center holes with a number 7 drill bit for a clearance hole for a number 10 screw, and then I took my countersink and countersunk the holes for the rivets and just deburred the larger holes, and I took a file and deburred these plates all the way around. Now I've got the nut plates clecoed on, and I'll just take my hand riveter and some NAS 1097 AD 3-3 rivets and rivet those nut plates on. I've got all the nut plates riveted on to all of the plates, so now I'll take them down and powder coat them. Here's one of the tie downs, anchors screwed down to one of the backing plates there. Of course, these are nice to use. These rings pivot around just for different pulls on them, and they're spring loaded, and you just push down or pull up actually on this molded piece here. It's got and then it's got a little slot in here with holes on it. This plunger part here, a big round bulb on the end of it, the head of it fits down in there underneath that lip, and then these ears here just fit down over those edges right there, lock it in place. And, but that's it. That's won't be able to see this part once it's mounted in the airplane and the fabric's on, but this is. Well, the parts are powder coated. Well, these things will fit on there like that, but they don't fit on there like that because the doubler plates go underneath the plywood floor, and these go on top, so they'll never see each other. But one of the things you got to watch out on the powder coating is one of the things that happens is these nuts are captured nuts and they float, and when you powder coat them they get glued together, so I got to go through all of these and kind of break them loose so they'll float again. I got the tie down rings, anchors put in. These are the bases, the doublers here on the bottom, and we'll put those in, and I went ahead and drilled those out for 2 holes, number 30 holes, and put number 4, just 1/4 inch number 4 sheet metal screws in there to kind of hold them up to the wood when you take the anchor part out from the top. There's the 2 in the, these are just inside of the aft baggage compartment. We got 2 here on the forward part of the forward baggage compartment, and I put a little bit of Teflon tape around that tube because that metal goes right up in there and they don't quite touch. Once I get that, this floorboard for this baggage compartment's not screwed down yet, so when it does they'll come awful close to touching if they don't touch. So I put a piece of Teflon tape in there on both of those just for abrasion purposes. These 2 here are right just forward of the little bulkhead, just right below the seat bar, the back seat, the front seat bar. Okay, here's what they look like from the front. I don't have the rings in these 2 front ones, or the 2 front ones in the baggage compartment here. I did put the rings in the ones in the forward part of the aft baggage compartment. Well, that's the way they are. And then I've got 2 hanging from the bar there, just below the upper baggage compartment, the forward part of the lower baggage compartment. I can run a cargo net or something across that and to use as a bulkhead for anything back there. I've also got tie down rings back there, 4 more of them all the way in the back that I can use for a net to put over anything back there, similar to what I did up here in the upper baggage compartment. Now that one's not going to have much in it, maybe a sleeping bag, a raincoat, something like that, but that one can't have much in it. And the back one can't have much in it either. It'll be for bulky items. But alright, just for grins and giggles, I went ahead and put the tie down rings in there in all the spots, and so we got all my tie down rings in. The nice thing about these is that you just quickly pull these out and get a little bag or something to put them in, put them underneath the front seat to store them, or the back seat I mean, to store them, and that way they'll be out of the way. This is pretty unobtrusive there without these rings in there.